My beloved child, pause for a moment and listen carefully. Do not rush past this moment. Do not treat it as something ordinary. There is a reason your eyes are here right now. There is a reason your attention stopped, even if only for a few seconds. Out of all the voices that could have reached you today, out of all the places your mind could have wandered, you found yourself here. And before you dismiss that as coincidence, before you tell yourself it is nothing more than another passing moment, I want you to breathe and consider something deeper. What if this moment was never random? What if there is a reason hidden beneath the surface? A purpose woven into this exact second that you cannot fully see yet? I know you have asked questions lately, questions you have not always spoken out loud, questions that have lived quietly inside your heart. You have wondered why certain things happened, why certain doors closed, why certain seasons lasted longer than expected, why answers seemed delayed, why life has felt confusing at times, and perhaps somewhere within you there has been another question, a question you barely dared to ask. Lord, do you still see me? My child, I hear every question your heart carries. I hear the words you speak and the ones you keep hidden. I hear the prayers whispered through tears. I hear the thoughts that visit you late at night when the world grows quiet. And I want you to know something. You are not here by accident. This moment did not appear before you without reason. I am a God of purpose. I am a God of timing. I am a God who knows the end from the beginning. Long before this day arrived, I knew where you would be. I knew what you would be carrying. I knew what your heart would need. And I knew there would come a moment when you needed to stop long enough to hear my voice again. That moment is now. My child, there are times when life becomes so loud that you forget how to listen. The worries become louder. The disappointments become louder. The opinions of others become louder. The pressure becomes louder. And slowly, almost without realizing it, my gentle voice becomes harder for you to hear. Not because I stopped speaking, not because I moved away, but because the noise around you grew stronger. Yet even then, I never stopped watching over you. I never stopped guiding you. I never stopped arranging moments designed to draw your heart back toward mine. This is one of those moments. This is a divine appointment, not the kind the world understands, not something written on a calendar, not something announced with great fanfare. It is quieter than that. It happens in the secret places of the soul. It happens when heaven gently interrupts the routine of an ordinary day and reminds a weary heart that it is still deeply loved. You may not understand everything that brought you here. You may not see the full picture yet. That is all right. You do not need to understand everything to receive what I am placing before you. Sometimes the greatest acts of faith begin with a simple willingness to listen. Sometimes healing begins with a moment of stillness. Sometimes hope begins with a single reminder that you are not forgotten. My child, there is something I need you to remember. I have never lost sight of you. Not for one moment. Not during the days when you felt strong. Not during the nights when you felt broken. Not during the seasons when your faith felt steady. Not during the seasons when your heart felt tired. I have been present through all of it. Even now, as you listen, my love surrounds you more completely than you realize. There are things happening beneath the surface of your life that you cannot yet see. There are answers forming where you see only silence. There are pathways opening where you see only obstacles. There are lessons becoming wisdom. There are wounds becoming testimonies. There are prayers moving through heaven even when you think nothing is changing. This is why I wanted your attention today. Not to fill your heart with fear, not to burden you with uncertainty, but to awaken your awareness, to remind you that your story is still unfolding, to remind you that I am still working, to remind you that what feels hidden is not hidden from me, and what feels uncertain is fully known by me. So stay here with me for a little while longer. Let your heart become quiet. Let your spirit breathe. Let the weight on your shoulders rest for a moment, because there is a reason you are here. There is a reason this moment found you. There is a reason your heart was drawn to listen. And as we continue together, you will begin to understand that what seemed ordinary was never ordinary at all. It was my hand gently reaching toward you, calling your name, inviting you closer, and reminding you that you are seen, you are known, and you are deeply loved. My child, I see the weight you have been carrying, the burdens you hide even from yourself, I see the quiet exhaustion in your eyes, the moments when your body moves through the day but your spirit feels heavy, as if each step requires more strength than you possess. I have watched you smile for the world while your heart aches silently, holding pain that no one else notices, storing disappointment and weariness in places that feel invisible even to yourself. The nights when you lay awake, replaying conversations, worries, and regrets, when you tell yourself you must be strong again tomorrow, I have been there. I have witnessed every time you swallowed your tears, every time you forced a laugh, every time you carried burdens meant for two on your own. You have been walking through storms of thought and feeling, navigating fears and doubts, silently carrying grief for which there is no one to comfort you. Yet I see you. I see the hidden struggles, the moments you think no one can possibly understand. I see the late nights when your mind races, questioning your worth, questioning your path, questioning if anyone truly notices your effort or your heart. I see the fatigue that runs deeper than muscle or bone, the kind of exhaustion that sits heavy on the soul, that makes even simple decisions feel monumental. You have been pretending, my child, pretending to be okay, pretending to be strong, pretending that the world does not see your cracks, and yet every silent sigh, every stolen moment of sorrow, every quiet tear has been known to me. I know the secret burdens you bear, the expectations that weigh you down, the fear of letting others down, the fear of facing your own heart, the heaviness that comes from feeling unseen even when you are surrounded by people. I feel the hidden pain that lingers behind your smiles, the emotional fatigue that creeps in with every passing day, the quiet battles that leave your spirit drained. You have been holding more than you were ever meant to hold alone, carrying weight that was never yours to carry entirely, and I see it all. I see the private moments of struggle that you have convinced yourself are yours alone, the exhaustion that comes not from doing wrong but from trying to hold everything together, from trying to protect yourself and those you love from disappointment and sorrow. My child, I am here in this moment to tell you that none of this has gone unnoticed. Every tear, every sigh, every quiet night of wrestling with unseen burdens has been seen by me. Every instance when you believed no one understood, every moment when you felt utterly alone, I was there. I felt your heart, I knew your soul, and I carried you even when you could not feel my presence. I am not speaking to you from a distance, nor am I judging the weight you have carried. I am here, close enough that your heart can sense the warmth of my love, strong enough to hold you through this silent struggle. I understand how exhausting it is to bear the hidden pain of life, the pressure of responsibilities, the quiet disappointment that settles like a shadow over the days and nights. I know that it is not simply fatigue of the body, but a profound weariness of the spirit, a deep emotional exhaustion that words alone cannot describe. And so, my beloved, I want you to know that in the midst of these hidden battles, in the quiet places where you think you are entirely alone, you are fully seen, you are fully known. Every secret struggle is laid bare before me, and every cry that has gone unheard by others has reached my ears. You do not have to hide it anymore. You do not have to pretend it does not exist. You are allowed to feel, to acknowledge the depth of your fatigue, the weight of your sorrow, the heaviness that presses upon your heart. It is real, and it is seen. I am with you in it. I have been walking alongside you in the silence, witnessing the exhaustion and the pain you carry, and I am here to bear it with you, to enfold it with my presence, to let you know that you are not alone in your struggles, that every hidden tear and every unspoken word matters to me, and that in this moment you are being fully held in my love, fully embraced, fully understood. My child, I want you to pause and reflect for a moment on the thoughts that have been whispering in your mind, the quiet lies that have taken root over time. There are moments when you have believed that your struggles mean you are alone, that your silent tears mean you are invisible, that the weight you carry proves that you are not enough. I see the ways these false beliefs have shaped your days, the way they have convinced your heart that my presence is distant, when in truth, I have never left. You have believed, in the stillness of your private battles, that no one truly notices you, that no one truly cares, and even that I may have forgotten you. But my child, these are lies that have no power over the truth of who you are and whose you are. Every doubt, every fear, every whisper of inadequacy has been heard, yet it is not reality. You are seen, you are valued, and you are deeply loved. These false beliefs may have been repeated to you by the world, by your own inner voice, or by the enemy who seeks to sow confusion. But they are not the final word. The thought that your failures define your worth is not from me. The belief that your mistakes have made you unworthy is a shadow that cannot withstand the light of my love. When you hear the voice in your head saying, "You are forgotten," I want you to remember that I have counted every tear, every sigh, every moment when your spirit felt crushed under the weight of life. When you have thought, "I am not enough," I want you to remember that I have breathed purpose into your being, that I have crafted your soul with intention, and that your life has meaning that extends far beyond what you can see. These lies may have seemed convincing, may have influenced the choices you made, may have made you hide pieces of yourself to protect against further hurt, but they do not reflect my truth. I know the moments when you have doubted your capacity, questioned your value, and felt unworthy of joy or blessing. Yet I have been there in each of those moments, gently reminding you that your worth is not contingent upon perfection, success, or approval, but on the love I have poured into you since the beginning. I see the way self-doubt has whispered, "You cannot do this," and the way fear has said, "It is too late for you." Yet these voices do not come from me. I am not here to condemn you, to diminish you, or to push you into despair. My child, I am here to illuminate the lies for what they are, to strip away the illusions that have weighed heavy on your heart, and to replace them with the certainty that comes from being fully known and fully loved. Every time you thought you were unseen, I was watching. Every time you felt you had nothing to offer, I was shaping the gifts that live within you. Every time you believed you were too broken, I was walking beside you, preparing a path where you could rise stronger than before. These false beliefs may have directed your gaze downward, may have made your heart heavy, may have made you question your purpose, but they do not define the trajectory of your life, because I have already set a course for you that is filled with hope, grace, and redemption. My child, let the awareness of these lies wash over you now, not to create shame or regret, but to free you. Let it be a revelation that the weight you have been carrying is not yours alone, that the shadows you have been navigating are illuminated by my constant presence, and that the thoughts that have kept you bound are being undone by my truth. You do not need to believe the lies any longer. You do not need to measure yourself against the impossibilities they present. I am here to remind you that your heart, your soul, your life is precious, irreplaceable, and cherished beyond measure. And as you begin to recognize these false beliefs for what they are, you will find space to breathe, space to trust, and space to receive the love and affirmation that has always been yours, even in the moments you could not see it. My child, now that you have begun to see the weight you have been carrying and the lies that have quietly shaped your thoughts, I want you to look at yourself through my eyes for a moment, not through the eyes of fear, not through the eyes of disappointment, not through the eyes of people who misunderstood you. Look through my eyes, because what I see is very different from what you have been taught to believe. You see weakness where I see endurance. You see delays where I see preparation. You see mistakes where I see growth. You see scars where I see healing that has already begun. My child, there have been countless moments when you looked at your life and concluded that you were falling behind. You compared your journey to others. You measured your progress against expectations. You judged yourself because you thought you should be further along than you are now. But I do not measure your life the way the world does. I do not evaluate your worth based on accomplishments, recognition, status, or applause. I look deeper. I see the battles you fought that no one else knows about. I see the mornings you got up when it would have been easier to stay down. I see the courage it took for you to keep going when your heart felt tired. I see the faith that survived even when it felt small. And what you call weakness, I call strength. What you call failure, I call perseverance. What you call surviving, I call overcoming. My child, there is growth happening inside you that you cannot yet see. Just because it is invisible does not mean it is absent. Think of a seed buried beneath the soil. For a season, nothing appears to be happening. From the outside, it looks unchanged. But beneath the surface, roots are forming. Strength is developing. Life is preparing itself for the right moment to emerge. In the same way, there have been seasons in your life when you believed nothing was changing. You thought your prayers were accomplishing nothing. You thought your waiting was meaningless. You thought your struggles were evidence that you were stuck. But while you were worrying about what was not visible, I was nurturing what was hidden. I was building resilience inside your spirit. I was teaching you lessons that success alone could never teach. I was deepening your compassion. I was strengthening your character. I was preparing you for things your present self could not yet fully understand. You see a person who still has flaws. I see a beloved child who continues to grow. You see someone who occasionally doubts. I see someone who continues to seek me despite uncertainty. You see your limitations. I see your potential. You see the chapters that hurt. I see the entire story. My child, there is hidden strength within you that even you have not fully discovered. The fact that you are still here. The fact that you are still listening. The fact that your heart still longs for hope despite everything you have endured. These are not signs of weakness. They are evidence of strength. They are evidence that my hand has been sustaining you all along. There were moments when you thought you were barely holding on, yet you did not realize that I was holding you. There were moments when you thought you had reached your limit, yet somehow you found the strength to take one more step. That strength did not come from nowhere. I was there. My grace was there. My presence was there. My child, stop defining yourself by your hardest seasons. Stop judging your future by your present struggles. Stop believing that your unfinished journey means you have failed. I see something beautiful unfolding within you. I see wisdom being formed through experience. I see compassion being born from pain. I see maturity growing through waiting. I see faith being refined through uncertainty. And I see a future that is not determined by your fears, but by my faithfulness. What you call hidden weakness, I call hidden strength. What you call lost time, I call sacred preparation. What you call an unfinished story, I call a masterpiece still being written. And when you begin to see yourself through my eyes instead of through the lens of fear, you will discover that you are far stronger, far more loved, and far more prepared than you ever imagined. My child, I know you have been wondering why things seem to take so long, why the answers you have been hoping for do not appear yet, why the doors you have been praying for remain closed, and why the breakthrough you have been waiting for seems delayed. I want you to understand something important about waiting, because what you perceive as delay is often my preparation. Just as a seed must remain beneath the soil for a season before it can sprout, so your heart and your life require time to grow strong in ways you cannot yet see. There is a process at work, unseen to your eyes, working beneath the surface to develop roots deep enough to withstand storms, to nurture a foundation that will not falter. During this season, I am cultivating endurance in your spirit, resilience in your heart, and wisdom in your soul. The waiting is not punishment, nor is it an indication that you have been forgotten. Every moment that feels stagnant, every day that seems without progress, every night when you wonder if your prayers are heard is part of a sacred season of preparation. Just as a tree requires time for its roots to reach water and nutrients hidden in the soil, your life requires moments to build depth, stability, and strength that will carry you through the storms ahead. I see the work being done within you, even when you cannot see it yourself. I see the growth taking place in your character, the shaping of your faith, the refining of your patience, and the strengthening of your hope. The seasons of life are orchestrated carefully, like the turning of the earth and the changing of skies. Each season has its purpose. Some seasons are for sowing, some for tending, some for waiting, and some for reaping. In your waiting, my child, you are being tended, you are being nurtured, you are being prepared for what I have in store, and the strength you gain now will sustain you when the fullness of the promise is revealed. Do not be anxious about what is unseen. Do not measure the value of this season by visible progress alone. Every struggle, every moment of patience, every time you choose to trust me instead of giving in to doubt, is contributing to a greater story, one that I am writing with purpose and precision. The roots of your soul are growing deep, unseen but strong. The foundation of your life is being established quietly, firmly, and faithfully. You may feel weary, you may feel tired of waiting, you may long for the moment when the harvest will appear. But my child, do not despise the season of waiting, for it is here that you are becoming the person capable of handling the fullness of the blessing. Your patience is forming character, your endurance is forming strength, your faith is forming resilience. And even in moments of doubt, I am beside you, guiding, holding, and nurturing every step. The waiting is not wasted, the waiting is not meaningless. It is my hand working through time, my love shaping your heart, and my plan unfolding in ways that will bring greater joy, deeper peace, and stronger faith than if it had arrived too soon. So, lift your eyes, my beloved. Recognize that this season of waiting is sacred. See that it is purposeful. Feel that it is alive with my care and my design. Every day, every breath, every quiet moment is part of the process of making you ready. And when the time comes, when the seed sprouts and the roots are deep and the promise is ready to emerge, you will stand strong, full of hope, and ready to embrace all that I have prepared for you. My child, while you have been focusing on what has not happened yet, there is something extraordinary that has been happening within you. The waiting season has never been only about where you are going, it has also been about who you are becoming. There are transformations taking place beneath the surface of your daily life that cannot be measured by calendars, achievements, or visible milestones. They are deeper than that. They are taking place in the hidden places of your character, in the quiet corners of your spirit, in the unseen layers of your heart. You may not always recognize these changes because growth often feels ordinary while it is happening. A tree does not hear its roots stretching through the earth. A river does not notice itself carving a path through stone. In the same way, you may not realize how much you have changed because you are living through the process one day at a time. But if you could step back and see what I see, you would notice something remarkable. You are not the same person you were before this journey began. The challenges that once would have completely discouraged you now reveal a strength you did not know you possessed. The disappointments that once would have shattered your confidence are now teaching you perseverance. The uncertainty that once filled you with panic is gradually teaching you patience. Something is being built inside you. Wisdom is being formed. Not the kind of wisdom that comes from information alone, but the kind that comes from experience, reflection, and growth. You are learning that not every closed door is a rejection. You are learning that not every delay is a defeat. You are learning that some of life's greatest lessons arrive disguised as detours. This wisdom is becoming part of you. It is changing how you see the world. It is changing how you respond to difficulties. It is shaping you into someone who can walk with greater confidence and deeper understanding. Resilience is also growing within you. There was a time when every setback felt like the end of the story. Now, even though you still feel disappointment, you continue moving forward. You continue believing. You continue hoping. Not because everything has become easy, but because something stronger has developed within you. Resilience is not the absence of struggle. It is the ability to keep moving through struggle without allowing it to define your future. And that strength is growing in ways you may not yet fully recognize. Patience is being formed as well, not passive waiting, not resignation, but a steady confidence that allows you to trust the process even when the outcome remains unclear. Patience teaches the heart to remain anchored during uncertain seasons. It teaches you to keep walking when the destination is not yet visible. It teaches you to find peace in the journey, rather than constantly living for the next milestone. This kind of patience cannot be learned overnight. It is cultivated slowly, through moments that challenge your expectations and stretch your faith. And then there is compassion. My child, some of the pain you have experienced has opened your heart in ways success never could. You understand struggles that you once could not understand. You recognize the silent battles people carry because you have carried your own. You have become more gentle, more understanding, more willing to extend grace. The hardships you wished you could avoid have been teaching you how to walk beside others with empathy and kindness. What feels difficult today is helping shape the person you are becoming tomorrow. So when you ask who you are becoming during this season, remember this. You are becoming wiser. You are becoming stronger. You are becoming more patient. You are becoming more compassionate. You are becoming someone with deeper roots, steadier faith, and greater understanding. The process may feel slow. The transformation may feel invisible. But every day, something valuable is being built within you. And one day, you will look back on this season and realize that while you were waiting for circumstances to change, your heart was being prepared for something far greater than you imagined. My child, after everything you have learned, after every hidden lesson, every season of waiting, every quiet transformation taking place within you, a question remains before your heart. What will you do now? Not next year, not someday, not when every answer arrives, not when every uncertainty disappears. What will you do now, in this moment, with the invitation that stands before you? Because growth is not only about what is being formed within you, it is also about how you choose to respond. There are things you have been carrying for far too long, burdens that have become so familiar that you no longer notice their weight. Old disappointments, old fears, old wounds, old regrets. And somewhere along the journey, you began to believe that carrying them was simply part of who you are. But my child, not everything you carry belongs in your future. Some things must be released before you can move forward freely. This is why I am inviting you to let go. Let go of the need to understand everything before taking the next step. Let go of the fear that tells you the future is unsafe. Let go of the pressure to control every outcome. Let go of the exhausting belief that everything depends entirely on your strength. You were never created to carry that burden alone. There is also something else I am gently asking you to consider. Forgiveness. Not because what happened was acceptable, not because the pain was insignificant, but because bitterness keeps your heart connected to wounds that are meant to heal. Forgiveness does not erase the past. It releases its power over your future. Some people hurt you deeply. Some situations left scars you never expected to carry. But holding on to that pain will not protect you. It will only continue exhausting your spirit. My child, I know forgiveness feels difficult. I know some wounds run deep. Yet every step toward forgiveness creates room for peace to enter places that pain once occupied. And then there is surrender. Perhaps this is the hardest invitation of all. Surrender does not mean giving up. It does not mean becoming passive. It means releasing the illusion that you must carry every answer, solve every problem, and predict every outcome. It means trusting even when the road ahead remains unclear. It means believing that the process is still unfolding even when you cannot see the entire picture. My child, trust is not built during easy seasons. Trust is built when uncertainty remains, and you choose to keep walking anyway. Every step of trust strengthens your spirit. Every act of surrender loosens the grip of fear. Every decision to release what you cannot control creates space for peace to grow. I am not asking you to have perfect faith. I am not asking you to eliminate every doubt overnight. I am simply inviting you to take one small step, one honest step toward freedom, one honest step toward trust, one honest step toward healing. Let go of what is draining your soul. Forgive what keeps your heart imprisoned in yesterday. Surrender what was never yours to control. Trust the process that is still unfolding around you. Trust the growth that is still unfolding within you. Trust that every season has purpose, even when it feels confusing. Because the path ahead is not opened by fear. It is opened by trust, not by control, but by surrender. Not by clinging tighter, but by releasing what no longer belongs in your hands. And as you make that decision, as you loosen your grip on the burdens you were never meant to carry forever, you will discover something remarkable. The strength you have been searching for was not found in holding on. It was found in letting go. The peace you have been longing for was not hidden in certainty. It was waiting inside trust. And the next chapter of your journey begins with a simple but powerful choice: to release, to forgive, to surrender, and to keep walking forward with courage. My child, when you have spent a long time looking at what is missing, it can become difficult to imagine what is still possible. When disappointment has visited repeatedly, hope can begin to feel unfamiliar. When a season has lasted longer than expected, it is easy to assume that tomorrow will look exactly like yesterday. But I want you to lift your eyes for a moment beyond what you currently see. Not because I am asking you to ignore reality, but because your future is larger than your present perspective. There are chapters of your story that have not yet been written. There are opportunities that have not yet arrived. There are conversations that have not yet happened. There are moments of restoration that have not yet unfolded. And there are parts of yourself that you have not yet discovered. My child, one of the greatest mistakes fear makes is convincing you that your current season is your final destination. Fear wants you to believe that because you have struggled, you will always struggle. Because you have been disappointed, you will always be disappointed. Because you have experienced closed doors, every door will remain closed forever. But life does not work that way. Seasons change. Winter does not last forever. Night eventually gives way to morning. Seeds do not remain buried forever. Growth continues even when it is hidden from view. The chapter you are living in now is not the entire story. There are pages ahead that you cannot yet see. There are blessings hidden inside ordinary days. There are opportunities quietly moving toward you. There are lessons becoming strengths. There are wounds becoming wisdom. There are tears becoming testimony. My child, I am not asking you to predict the future. I am inviting you to remain open to it. Remain open to the possibility that healing can reach places you thought would always hurt. Remain open to the possibility that new beginnings can emerge from unexpected places. Remain open to the possibility that what once felt broken can become beautiful again. There is a new chapter ahead, not a perfect chapter, not a chapter without challenges, but a chapter with new opportunities for growth, deeper peace, greater wisdom, and renewed purpose. The person you are becoming is being prepared for experiences that your present self cannot fully imagine. The strength developing within you will support opportunities that would have overwhelmed an earlier version of you. The patience you have learned will sustain you through future victories. The compassion you have gained will allow you to impact lives in ways you do not yet understand. Nothing you have experienced has been wasted. Every lesson carries value. Every season contributes something meaningful. Every step has prepared you for the road ahead. My child, restoration often begins quietly. It begins before you recognize it. It begins beneath the surface. Sometimes it arrives through a new perspective, sometimes through a renewed sense of peace, sometimes through unexpected opportunities, sometimes through relationships that encourage growth, sometimes through doors opening where you once expected only walls. You do not need to know exactly how the future will unfold to believe that possibility still exists. Hope does not require certainty. Hope simply requires the willingness to believe that tomorrow may hold more than today. And I tell you this because there is more ahead than you realize. More growth, more healing, more understanding, more peace, more opportunities to become who you were created to be. So do not let fear convince you that your best days exist only in the past. Do not allow discouragement to define what is possible. Continue moving forward. Continue growing. Continue trusting the process. Because even now, beyond what your eyes can currently see, a new chapter is slowly unfolding. And when the time comes to step into it, you will discover that the waiting was not leading you toward emptiness. It was leading you toward greater strength, deeper restoration, and opportunities that were quietly being prepared long before you ever knew they existed. My child, as this moment comes to a close, I do not want you to leave carrying fear. I do not want you to leave carrying pressure. I do not want you to leave feeling overwhelmed by everything you have heard. I want you to leave with something far greater. I want you to leave with peace. The kind of peace that does not come from having every answer. The kind of peace that does not depend on perfect circumstances. The kind of peace that remains steady even when life is still unfolding one day at a time. Remember what you have discovered along this journey. The burdens you carried were never invisible. The exhaustion you felt was never meaningless. The struggles you faced were not evidence of failure. The waiting was not empty. The growth was not imaginary. Every season has been shaping something valuable within you. Every challenge has been teaching something important. Every step has been contributing to a story that is still being written. My child, when doubts try to return, remember that growth often happens quietly. When fear tries to speak louder than hope, remember that your present circumstances do not define your future. When discouragement tries to convince you that nothing is changing, remember the roots that grow beneath the surface long before anyone sees the tree. Carry that truth with you. Carry the understanding that you are stronger than you realize. Carry the wisdom that has been formed through experience. Carry the patience that has been cultivated through waiting. Carry the compassion that has grown through difficulty. These are not small things. These are treasures being formed within your spirit, and they will continue to serve you long after this season has passed. My child, release the need to have everything figured out. Release the pressure to control every outcome. Release the fear of what you cannot yet see. There is freedom in trusting the process. There is freedom in taking one step at a time. There is freedom in knowing that not every answer must arrive today for hope to remain alive tomorrow. Let your heart rest. Let your thoughts become quiet. Let your spirit breathe again. You do not need to carry yesterday into tomorrow. You do not need to carry every worry into the future. One day at a time is enough. One step at a time is enough. One act of trust at a time is enough. And now, my beloved child, may peace settle gently over your heart. May your mind be filled with calm where anxiety once tried to live. May courage rise where fear once lingered. May hope grow stronger than discouragement. May wisdom guide your decisions. May patience strengthen your journey. May compassion continue to shape your heart. May you walk forward with confidence, not because you know everything that lies ahead, but because you have learned that growth is possible, healing is possible, restoration is possible, and new beginnings are always possible. As you continue your journey, remember this simple truth. You are not defined by your hardest season. You are not defined by your greatest struggle. You are not defined by your longest wait. You are defined by the person you are becoming through it all. And that person is stronger, wiser, deeper, and more resilient than you can fully see today. So walk forward with peace. Walk forward with hope. Walk forward with courage. The chapter behind you has taught you much. The chapter ahead still holds possibility. And the truth you should carry with you after this moment is this: what is growing within you is greater than what is standing against you.